Good morning, everyone. Hello. Hi. Hello, hello. Oh, sorry I'm late. I had to do some shopping. Hit the store right when it opened, get all the good stuff. Right, get in before the rush of all the crazy people up in the Highlands. 5 minutes of foam rolling, the usual start. Roll it out, hit some good stuff. Hip flexors, glutes, get your inner thighs, get your upper back. Grab a ball, grab a foam roller. If you don't have a roller or anything like that, just go ahead and move around. Do some cars, stretch it out, drink your coffee. We'll get going in about 5 minutes. Hope everyone's doing good. Feeling good after yesterday's strength. I went out and ran some hills yesterday too, later on in the day. That felt good. It was hard, so my legs are a little sore, ready for some hip mobility. Hello everyone that has joined. Rolling it out for the next couple minutes. Foam roller, lacrosse ball, stick, anything you got. Let's see. Hello, 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 everyone that has joined. What's up? Hello, Bill. Hey, Bill. Go Cougs. Yep, couple minutes. Hit another few spots. Just about 20 to 30 seconds on each spot. Doesn't need to be anything too crazy. Go slow. Start to wrap up, another 30 seconds or so, hit another spot. Drink your coffee if you got any kind of equipment like bands, light kettlebells, light dumbbells, anything you got, just kind of grab it, have it nearby. I'll give you some options on everything. Today is going to be no metabolic today. I'm taking more of, personally, I'm taking more of a rest day today. So just get some arms in, get some core, lots of mobility. I'm going on a couple walks today with Claire. If you guys want to get some metabolic in today, you're more than welcome. We have all sorts of information on the site, the units page, there's interval stuff. Let me know if you have questions on what you can do. But otherwise, we're just going to move around a bit today. So get comfortable. Let's go all the way down, flat on our stomachs. We're going to start with some breathing there, all right? So all the way flat on the stomach. Head can just kind of rest in your arms. Inhale through your nose nice and slow. Think about pushing your belly out into the floor. Your belly and your waistband expanding 360 degrees. And then let out a nice long exhale, get everything out. All right, we'll go for 60 to 90 seconds. Think about filling up your sides, your low back, pressing your belly out against the ground when you inhale. And then full exhale, feeling everything kind of compressed down. Don't let the inhales come up and turn into a shrug when you inhale. No, letting your shoulders shrug. finish that breath up. Now we're going to do one more little breathing drill. It's going to be in our cat-cow position. You're going to try and drive your upper shoulders up into the top of your cat-cow. Really strong arms pushing away from the ground. And then you're going to take 3 really good big inhales and exhales. A little more forceful. Okay. Think about this being a little more active. So those arms are strong, upper back's round, abs are tight. And then big breaths. In through your nose. When you exhale, reach your arms longer. Still inhale through your nose. Drive that air out and reach. Good. Shake it out for a second. Relax. We're going to start with some cars. All right? So we're going to start on the neck. You can stand. You can take 2 knees. All right? But we're just going to get the joints moving after doing some breathing. So how the flow is going to go today. So we're going to go from breathing to cars to a little bit more general mobility, mix in some core, and then we'll finish with some arms and some more core. Okay, but take our time, kind of ramp up, get the joints moving well. So if you remember the neck cars, I'll get a little closer if you need to see me. You're going to think about the chin drawing a nice big circle. The landmarks you're going to try and trace as you go is neck, chin down towards your sternum. Trace one chin along your collarbone as far as it will go to your shoulder. Swoop that chin all the way up into full extension, head back. All the way to the other shoulder, and then trace along that collarbone. And then you would just reverse the circle. No pinching or no pain. Light brace of your belly, light fist by your side so everything else stays nice and controlled and doesn't move. The only thing that moves is your neck. All right, so let's do 2 to 3 each direction. I'll give you 45 to 60 seconds. All right, so if you need to go along with me on this first one. So chin down towards your sternum. Slowly trace it along your collarbone. And it doesn't have to actually touch. All the way over to your shoulder. Now slowly swoop that chin into full extension. All the way towards that other shoulder. And then trace that collarbone towards the middle and reverse. Trace the other collarbone to the other shoulder. Lift up into full extension. All the way to the other side. And along that collarbone. Okay, keep going. Go nice and slow. Keep alternating. Remember to think about what that chin is doing. It should be about 1 inch per second. Okay, there should be a light brace throughout your body. It isn't just swinging your head around, right? Controlled tension. Okay, not forcing anything. The neck can be a little fragile. If you feel any discomfort, go a little bit smaller. So start to wrap up about 1 more. Good, and then we're going to do the shoulder blades. So hands stuck by your side of your pants, not going to the front or to the back. Okay, it's just basically a big shoulder roll. So start by shrugging your shoulders up, pulling them forward, driving them down, and pulling them back. And then just repeat that. Go up, forward, down, and back. Keep your elbows straight, your hands by your side, and just think about your shoulder blades and your shoulders drawing a nice big square. Do 3 to 4 each direction. So going forward, down, and back. Okay, now if you haven't, reverse the circles. Now I'm going to go forward, up, back, and down, and then repeat that. Forward, up, back, and down. Just trying to move those shoulder blades. Don't let your head move. Don't let your elbows bend. Just a nice big shoulder roll, but just hitting all those landmarks so you get the biggest range of motion you can. Good, get about 1 more. Forward, up, back, down. Now we're going to do the wrists, all right? So hold on to one forearm. Okay, keep your hand open, and then just the biggest circle you can draw with your hand without letting your forearm rotate as well. So if you can see my forearm, it's staying nice and still. If I had a phone resting on it, it would stay there. You want to eliminate your wrist turning around. Okay, remember, if you haven't done this one yet, or if you have, you know this one's pretty humbling. If you haven't done it, you might need to start really small. Get about 5 clockwise and counterclockwise on each hand. Okay, hold that forearm so you don't let anything move. Basically, that line at your wrist, you are trying to separate movement there. So your hand's moving above the wrist, your forearm is not moving below the wrist. Good, switch to the other side. All right, hold your hand. If you need to get in a comfortable position, seated, kneeling, standing, whatever's comfortable. Remember, if you can see my forearm, nothing's moving there. I've been doing these for a long time, so you might be seeing a lot of movement here, but it took me a lot of practice to get here. Don't let that forearm rotate. Get about 5 each direction. You have about 15 to 20 more seconds to get them in. You should feel a little burn in your forearm after a few seconds here, okay? This one's very important, especially for the desk sitters and the typers, okay? Okay, start to wrap that up. Let's go to hands and knees, and we're going to do the cat-cow version of the cars, which is just the segmental cat-cows. So you start in a nice big round. The goal is to move just at your tailbone, slowly all the way to your head. So tailbone moves first, head moves last. Okay, like there's a nice little wave going through your spine. Okay, it takes some time, it takes some focus, so each kind of rep through the down and the up part of it should take about 5 to 10 seconds. Start at your tailbone every time, all right? Think about just moving one little vertebrae at a time. From your tailbone up to your head, and then just repeat that. We'll go for about 20 to 30 more seconds. Go slow. Keep your arms strong. Imagine someone's tracing their finger from your tailbone up to the back of your head, and you're just following that finger. Get about one more pass through. And then we're going to do some hip cars. All right, so hands and knees. This is one of our most common mobility drills. But if you haven't seen them, okay, they're just our big, slow joint circles. We're trying to focus on our hip moving and nothing moving on the rest of our body. Anytime you hear cars, that's our joint health, mobility, longevity exercise. Okay, think about it as like lubing our joints up, but we have to isolate movement. So you want to get the biggest circle you can with a glass of water resting on your back. All right, so get 3 each direction. I'll give you about a minute to get them in. Extend back, up to the side, down and around. Keep your arms strong. Think about your belly button facing directly at the ground at all times. Try and expand your circle every rep, but always fight for it. It should never be easy. There should never be momentum. Good. Switch to the other side if you haven't already. Think if you were up against a wall with your support hip, you would not put any pressure into that wall. Don't let your weight shift into that wall. Good, finish that repetition up. We have a couple more cars and then we'll get into kind of more of our full body mobility drills, okay? But we gotta wake each joint up and then we'll get kind of link everything together with more of the other mobility drills. But like I said, think about this as like you're literally lubing your joints up, going slow, getting feedback to your brain, putting your joint through its fullest range of motion every single day by doing these cars. Helps you maintain and improve that mobility for your lifetime. If you don't use it, you lose it. We're not going to do the shoulder cars today because we're going to do some kind of shoulder car variations later in a little bit here. So we're going to get enough of those kind of cars in. So we're just going to kind of cruise through the other ones. So the ankle cars, big slow circle, hold your shin. kind of like the wrist, trying to keep your shin still, but paint that big circle with your toes. Get 5 each direction, and then switch sides. Or hold that shin. Big and slow. Fight for more every time. Don't just swing your ankles or feet around. It's easy to just kind of swing the feet around. It's not about that. You got to think of it as like a strength exercise when we do the cars. Exploring the outer movements of what our joints have, the outer ranges of motion. So start to finish that up and then stand up. Okay, the last one's our toes, all right? If you've been doing this stuff with me, you've noticed that the toes are extremely challenging for a lot of you. So the goal is all of your feet down on the ground to start, or all of your toes, sorry. Okay, then you're gonna keep your outside 4 toes down and lift only your big toes. Okay, so give that a try. Hold it for 5 seconds. We're going to do about 5 each, holding each for 5 seconds. So now switch, keep your big toes down, and lift your outside 4 up and spread them apart. Think about driving your big toes down into the ground while you're lifting the outside 4 up. Hold it for 5 seconds and switch again. Outside 4 down, big toes up. Actively pull those big toes up towards your shins. And switch. Couple more times. Outside 4 up, big toes down. Switch. Outside 4 down, big toes up. Good. Toe stuff, very important. Like I said, toe mobility, intrinsic foot muscles. If you don't have control of your feet, you're going to have issues throughout the rest of your body somewhere, okay, whether you know it or not. So wrap that up, get some water, get some coffee if you need, and we'll kind of start to pick up the movement a little bit more. Hopefully everyone's feeling good, feeling loose. Cool. Okay, perfect. So let's get down. Let's get down on our backs. Let's get some scap slides in. Just start to wake the chest up. So the first few mobility drills are going to be a little bit more focused on the upper body, and they'll move down to the lower body. All right. So scap slides on your back. We're going to get about 6 to 8 of them in. It'll give you about 30 to 45 seconds. So arms against the ground. Pull your ribs down so your lower back is sucked into the floor. As you slide up, keep your arms against the ground, and don't let your low back arch off the floor. Slide up and down. Think about your belly button driving down. Think about your hands and your wrists pushing into the floor along with your elbows. Head towards like a Y position with your arms if you were doing the YMCA standing. Should feel something either a little bit in your upper back or in your chest. Either upper back muscles kind of stretching or being used, like your shoulders or the front of your chest. Good. One more repetition in. Next one is T-spine rotations, all right? So just regular, you don't have to put your leg out to the side, so just start on hands and knees. Okay, put your butt back towards your heels. Put one hand behind your head, and then just rotate up towards that ceiling with a big exhale. Go slow. Get 5 on each side, all right? So push away from the ground, exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Don't let your hips push to the side, okay? Think about your chest rotating, but your hips not pushing out, okay? We want to separate that movement only from our belly button, kind of up should be rotating. Good, 5 of those on each side, okay? After that, we're going to do sideline windmill, okay? So for those of you that know this one and that know how to do it with a foam roller, you can grab a foam roller if you want to, but I'm going to show you how you can do it without a foam roller. So a sideline windmill, before I go down, is basically we're on our side and we're just opening up, moving our chest, kind of like the T-spine rotations. We're just trying to move our upper back. Our arms going to get into it so we get a little stretch of our chest as well. So you're going to lay down all the way on one side. Okay? So I'll show you from this way. Okay, all the way down on your side. top leg is going to come all the way up, and your bottom arm is just going to kind of hook under it to keep it up past your hip height. Okay? Your top arm is going to reach forward and then circle up above your head all the way around in a big circle, and then you're going to kind of reset and do it again. So if you can kind of see me from the side here, my top leg is being hooked by my bottom arm. Top arm is reaching out, and then a nice big circle all the way around. You might even get a hip stretch just from the way you're holding your leg up. You're trying to drop your shoulder towards the floor and get a nice big circle in. I'll show you one more angle, get 5 aside. Big exhale as you open up. Good. Don't force your hand to the floor on this one. You know, as it's swinging around, think about more rotating from your chest and dropping your shoulder to the ground. Okay, your shoulder might not touch the floor, or probably won't, and that's okay. So top arm reaches, big circle, drop the shoulder towards the floor, complete the circle and reset. Reach out, up and around. Big breath as you open up. Don't let your hips roll. Hook that top leg with your bottom arm. Get 5 aside. Good. And then we're going to do I'm going to show you a little down dog variation that I really like for the shoulders, not only for mobility, but for a good warm up on them. So your feet are going to be spread out like an elbow tab. When you drive up into your down dog, you're going to touch your one hand to the opposite foot, or towards the opposite foot, and try and touch it. So I'll show you quickly from both angles, and then I'll give you about 5 aside. Okay? Or you can just do some regular down dogs if this is too challenging. So your feet will be spread out. You'll drive up into a down dog and touch your opposite foot and then come back. Okay, so you'll still drive your hips up nice and high. Okay, but reach, touch the opposite toes, come back down. Boom. Really think about driving away from the ground with your arm. Hips high to the ceiling. Hand touches the opposite foot. Get about 5 of those on each side. If you need to just do a regular, good, quality down dog, you're more than welcome to do that, okay? So drive, touch, back to push-up position between each rep. Should feel good, you know, backside hamstring stretch, a little bit of your shoulders working. After you get 5, shake that out. Ooh, okay. Now, next up, what we're going to do is we are going to do some shoulder swimmers, okay, which is basically just a 2-arm shoulder car. You don't have to do anything yet. I'm just kind of showing you the movement, okay, but we are going to be flat on our stomachs if it feels okay with you, okay? If that is uncomfortable on your back or anything, or your neck or your shoulders, you can do it just like I am here, okay? But basically, it's like our shoulder car we do in class, where you reach behind your head, you reach high to the ceiling, rotate the arm, and then try and bend and reach up your back a little bit, and then reverse. It's going to be that same thing, but you're going to do it with both arms. All right, so flat on the ground, both arms up, reach behind the head nice and slow, back out, up towards the ceiling, rotate the arms in, as high as you can get them, as turned in as you can get them. Bend your elbows a little bit and try and reach up your lower back. Extend back out, and then repeat all the way up and around. Nice and slow. Boom, and bend. You're going to get 5 of those in. If you need to do them kneeling, the same idea, you're just going to fight for the back of the room. So your arms are always going to see how far behind you can go safely with no pain. You're still going to bend up the back. You're still going to go all the way up. You're still going to reach behind that head as much as it feels comfortable. And repeat, okay? So get about 5 of those. You should feel a good shoulder burn. Remember, this is like a car variation, so it should be a fight. It should be slow motion, always seeing if you can get more range of motion, all right? Start to wrap that up in about 20 seconds. Run all the way up. Don't move your head. Always fight for the ceiling or the back of the room. Good, one more rep, wrap it up. Good, relax, shake it out. Whew, take a little break. So shoulders should be feeling pretty good. Okay, lots of shoulder stuff right now. If those were uncomfortable, if those felt unnatural, whenever we do those, you can just do either a quadruped shoulder, single arm shoulder car like we do in class. Okay, or if I've shown you how to do kind of tall standing variation where you're just doing a big circle and you're not worried about bending the elbow, you're more than welcome to throw that in. Okay, shake it out, get a little bit of water. Now we're going to get down and focus on the hips a little bit more. So first up, you're going to get in your shin box, kind of the 90-90 position. Okay, the 90-90 comes from your knees being bent on both sides at 90 degrees. Okay, and your thighs sort of with your body should make roughly a 90-degree angle. Okay, but what we're going to do first is just kind of do some different movements in this setup. Go to the other side, do the same thing, then we'll actually go through some shin box movements, but you should feel better after we move around and do a few exercises just in this base position. Alright, so the first exercise, you are going to turn towards the leg that you can see the inside of. Okay, so you should be able to see your inner thigh, kind of the open side. Alright, you're going to turn towards that leg. So if my legs are swung to the left and I'm turned at my left leg, my one hand should be on the shin, one hand should be outside the knee. Your chest should be facing right at that knee, and then you're just going to slowly push forward over that leg and over that knee with your torso until you feel a stretch of the outside of the glute. And then just come back up, and you're just going to go back and forth nice and slow. I'll give you some more cues as you go. You're just going to feel it out, try and get comfortable. I'll show you a few different angles. Okay, so my chest is staying nice and tall. Don't let the spine flex just to get lower to the ground. You won't feel as much of a hip stretch. You want to think about almost like hinging over your hips like a deadlift as you feel. You should feel the outside of that hip that you're leaning over, getting a good little stretch. So I'll show you one more angle. Keep going. Use your hands to support you as much as you want to, okay? Just nice and slow. Pull yourself into the stretch a little bit, and then push yourself out of it. Good. Now stay with your chest facing that knee. Okay, if you need to play around to support yourself a little bit, if you need to go on your fist, if your hand's feeling a little uncomfortable, okay, if you need to sit a little taller, that'll take you out of the stretch a little bit. You're going to find a decent stretch, get comfortable. Now we're going to take the lead leg, or the trail leg back here, and we're going to pry that thing open nice and slow. You're going to keep your back foot on the ground. You're going to keep your chest facing that knee and not let your torso rotate. And then you're just going to pry open as far as you can and feel a nice stretch. Brace your core a little bit. You don't want your belly to turn. Okay, you should feel a nice stretch of your hips. Keep your foot on the ground. Think almost like a clamshell. You're trying to pry that hip back and open. Try and get a little bit more out of it each time. But if you see my torso, it's staying perfectly still. I'm not letting it turn and go for the ride. Good. Now we're going to switch to the other side and do the same thing, but do a nice, slow, controlled shin box to get there. Nice, slow, open up. You just did that with this back leg. Slow, all the way to the other side. Now you're going to set up facing the leg that you can see the inner thigh of, so it should be your opposite leg. It's my right leg now. One hand on your shin, one hand outside the knee. Get comfortable, get tall, push forward, chest over the knee, feel a stretch. So we're going to do those same two stretches, and then we're going to do a few more. Good. There chest, your torso, everything should be tall. You're not letting your spine flex just to get lower. Think about hinging from your hips. You might feel the difference side to side. Okay, I can't get as far down here. I feel more of a stretch on the outside of my right hip when I go over the right leg. And that's okay. Try and get a little bit more out of it each rep. Think about pulling yourself in and pushing yourself out. Pull yourself deep into it and then push yourself out of it. Now find a comfortable position where you're still facing that knee, still feeling a good stretch, and now we're going to do the opening. Alright, so I'm just moving to change angles. Okay, so chest facing the knee, keep the back foot on the ground, but pry that leg open until you feel stretch. Don't let your torso twist as that leg opens up. Try and get a little bit more with each repetition. Keep prying open. Brace your core a little bit so your torso doesn't rotate. Push this front leg down into the ground. Good, now we're going to go back to the other side with a good slow shin box. Remember, we just did this prying open. So the goal is to really open up, then follow over to that other side on the shin box. Good. Now we're going to focus on this back leg again. So what you're going to do is if you need to kind of lean back a little bit on your hands, okay, you can. The farther you lean back here, even going down on your elbows, the easier this is going to be. The taller you kind of sit facing this trail leg, the one you can see the outside of, okay, the harder this is going to be. So back, easier, upright, harder. What we're going to do is you're going to lift this back leg straight up in the air. You're going to rotate it, and you're going to bring the heel of the moving leg towards the heel of the non-moving leg. So you're going to lift, rotate, see if you get nice and close. If you can touch, lift your leg back up, keep it as high as it can, set it back down to that 90-90 position. Okay, so if you can see me one more time, I'm going to lift it, back leg, rotate, pull the heel to the other heel, lift it up, rotate it, and set it back down. All right, you're going to do 8 of these on each side, and I'll show you a couple different angles if you're not getting the hang of it, but remember, you're in the shin box. Lean back as much as you need to. Okay, if you're good to go, you can go and get your 8, but if you need to follow me, remember, lift the leg, rotate it. Don't let any other part of your body move. So as this hip is moving, just like a car, my torso is staying steady, the outside leg is staying still. I'm keeping the leg as high as possible. If the heel can't touch the other heel, you're just trying to see how close it'll get. Lift it, rotate it. Should feel that hip working pretty good. You might even get a little cramp in there. So finish up your 8, and then nice and slow, shin box to the other side. Get comfortable, kind of lean back, and you're going to do another 8. All right, so remember, we are moving the leg that you can see the outside of, kind of the trail leg here. All right, you're getting comfortable, lifting it up, rotating it, pulling the heel towards the other heel, and then lifting, trying to set it back down at that 90-90 position, or starting position. If it's too easy, sit taller. If it's too hard, sit back. Think about it being like a car. Okay, it should be slow. You're always trying to fight and see, okay, how high can I get my leg? How close can my knee get to my chest? How close can that heel get to the other heel? When you set it down, try and set the shin down from knee to ankle, all as one. So try to not let your heel touch first or your knee touch first. Try and set them down at the same time. Nice and slow. You got 8 repetitions. You should be close to wrapping up. After you get that last one in, let's do some shin box now. So we're just going to go about 3 to 4 reps each side. The goal is to really use that work we just did and really pry the hips open. So open up as far as you can before that back leg comes off, like that drill we just did. Get all the way to the middle and spread your knees as far as you can. Keep them far apart as you go to the other side. Okay? Pry the leg open. Let the back leg come off and get to the middle. All the way to the other sides and tall. About 20 more seconds. Get about 2 more reps in each side. Go slow. If you can see me on the screen, this is kind of exactly how slow you should be going, or close to it. Think about your posture. Good, heck yeah, looking good, core tight. Get 1 more good repetition. Good, shake it out. Ooh. If you want, you can stand up, shake it out for a second, shake the hands out. I know it's a long time kind of being on the hands for some. How's everyone doing? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, get some coffee if you need to get some coffee. Oh. Okay. So we're going to go back down, okay, and we are going to do kind of quadruped rock backs and do a few things in there. So quadruped rock backs, both legs are going to go out. You're going to go on your hands or down on your elbows, and you're just going to rock back and forth. Nice and slow. Keep your back flat. You should just feel a stretch of your groin. You can play around with how wide your knees are and how wide your heels are and your toes are away from each other. As long as it's comfortable and you feel a good stretch, you can always go down on your elbows. As long as on your elbows, you don't let your back round and your spine flex. So just go back and forth, go slow, breathe. Good, now come back up to your hands no matter what, no matter how the stretch felt to you, kind of go back on your hands. Now, you're going to push back, rock forward, and kind of drive your hips towards the ground, squeezing your glutes, bracing your belly a little bit. You should feel another different little stretch of your hips, and then come back. So walk the hands back, butt to heel, walk forward, drive your hips towards the ground, squeeze your glutes. You should feel a good stretch, don't force it, and then come back. I know this one looks a little awkward, okay, but you should feel, if you can see me from the front, my knees are still wide. I'm just going to walk forward, squeeze glutes and abs, drive the hips towards the ground. You should feel a different little groin stretch in there. Don't force it. You shouldn't be loose. Okay, you should be bracing things a little bit. That's going to help you feel a good stretch. Once again, play around with how wide your knees and your feet are. Squeeze your glutes when you drive your hips towards that ground. Good, 1 more rep. And then sit all the way back. Go down on your elbows. Now what you're going to try and do is rotate your thighs and lift your heels off the ground for 10 repetitions. So the farther you sit back in your stretch, the harder this is going to be. The farther forward you are, the easier this is going to be. You're trying to rotate your thighs in, lift your heels, and rotate them forward. Keep your core tight. Should feel your hip flexors working. So think about almost being in like a plank. If you see my torso, I'm almost bracing and looking like I'm in a plank. Okay, if you can see me maybe from behind, might be a decent view. Okay, lift the heels, core tight, pull from the inner thighs. Get 10 of those reps. You should feel your hip flexors working while you feel that stretch. If you're feeling uncomfortable, take a break and then get back into it. I know this is a long time to be in this prying position here. Okay, but rotate those thighs in. Rotating those thighs in is going to make those heels lift off that ground. So this is a little more active. This should be kind of challenging. Good, shake it out. 1 more rep. Relax. Whew. Good. Next up, what we're going to do, stand up, shake it out. Okay, now we're going to do a little kind of, a little squat to stand variation with a few things mixed in, okay? So before we go through the full squat to stand, okay, what you're going to do is just do toe touch butt lifts for 5 repetitions, just trying to get deeper and deeper into the squats. So you're going to still start by doing a toe touch. And then you're going to pull yourself as deep as you can in your squat, holding onto your toes, pulling yourself into your squat, trying to take a big breath, try and get your heels down, and then lift your butt back up, holding onto your toes. Find a stretch of your hamstrings, and then drop your butt back down again. Trying to get deeper and deeper and deeper into the squat. Hold onto your toes when you lift your butt up until you feel a stretch of your hamstrings, and then pull back into it, okay? Lift. Drop back deeper into the squat. After your 5th rep, what you're going to do is you're going to do walk backs into, so walkouts back into a squat and stand. Okay, so if I'm starting in my squat, walk out into push-up position, walk back into my deep squat, and then stand up and do it again. You're going to do 10 total reps here. Get as deep as you can when you squat down, butt to your heels, walk your hands to push-up position, walk back low, get as deep as you can, control your stand, all right? So every time you drop to that squat, you're trying to get as low as you can before you crawl. Every time you crawl back, you're trying to get nice and low again before you kind of brace and stand up, all right? Good. Sit deep. Make sure you're breathing. Good. Legs should be kind of burning a little bit. Take your time, about 20 more seconds. If this is uncomfortable on your knees for any reason, okay, you can always kind of throw in some hip cars, some ankle cars, and just kind of hang out until we're done with this one. I know this is a lot of deep squatting. If it feels comfortable though, you should try and do this, okay? Deep squats are hard, but very important for those hips and that spine to be able to get somewhat comfortable hanging out in the bottom of that squat. Okay, so get one more rep in, shake it out, hang out. Good. Next one up is going to be a good little stretch for our hips. Let me move this up a little bit. So we're going to do a little bit of a hip hinge with a rotation of our T-spine. So you're going to sit your hips back like you're going to do a bent over row or an RDL. Put your fists inside of your knees. You're going to push one hand, keep one hand pushing into your inner knee, and rotate your chest towards the ceiling, almost like that sideline windmill. So push, open up, chest towards the ceiling. Okay, actively push that arm into your inner thigh, so none of that moves. Rotate your chest, make sure your hips are pushed all the way back towards that ceiling. Get 5 reps in, stand up, shake it out, and get back down. If this is uncomfortable on your back, go all the way down and just do our quadruped T-spine rotations. All right? Butt back, fist inside of knee, open up chest towards the ceiling. You'll probably find one side's a little bit harder than the other, and that's okay. Good. Once you get your 5, shake it out. Whew. Good job, team. Okay, so now we're just going to do a nice, good, full squat to stand for 5 reps. All right, now that we did kind of a few mobility drills within that movement, now we're just going to go toe touch, all the way down, hang out for a second, big breath, get your arms as high as you can get them, and then stand up. All right, toe touch, get 5 reps. Toe touch, butt down, arms up, stand up. Try and and get those arms way above your head when you're at the bottom of that squat. Try and keep your heels down. Push your knees out. Finish that last rep up. Good. Okay. Next up, if you have any sort of bands, all right, grab some bands. You know, if you have like a mini band that you can do the lateral band walks with or bridges with, grab one. If you have any sort of pull-apart band, it could be a TheraBand, you know, just like a flat regular band. It could be one of the super bands, the ones that's like a big circle. Anything should work. Let's hit the shoulders to start, okay? So grip your band nice and wide, and we're just gonna do some over and backs. So nice and slow, start nice and wide on your band. If you don't have a band, okay, you're gonna rock shoulder circles and just get those shoulders good and warmed up. Palms up, 10 forward, 10 backwards. Palms down, 10 forward, 10 backwards, small, and then same thing with the medium-sized one. But if you got the band, over and back. Try and keep your arms straight, and don't make your body do anything weird if you can. If you have to, then you need to grip wider. If it feels easy, if you can keep your head in place, your ribs down, it's nice and smooth, you can grip more narrow on your band if you want. But go slow, we're just trying to get those shoulders moving. Good, shake it out for a second. Next up, you're going to do 15 band pull-aparts. If you don't have a band, you're going to go bent over, reverse fly, squeezing your shoulder blades. Or you can do a shoulder car for 3 each side. So band pull-aparts, squeeze your shoulder blades, pull that band right to your chest. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. Good, after you get those bands in, okay? Then you're gonna grab your mini band here. You're gonna put it around your feet or your ankles. If you have a thick band, one of those like non-band ones, like the thick fabric ones or whatever, you can throw that at your knees. You're gonna do 15 band walks each side. Our torso tall, keep tension on the band, keep your toes straight, 15 each direction. If you don't have a band, you can go standing hip abductions here. Leg flexed, torso through support leg tall and extended. Don't let your body lean. Get 15 of those on each side. You should still feel the outside of your hips on those. So whatever you're doing, 15 a side. Yeah, good. Okay, shake it out. And then you're just gonna do some little straight leg crunches. Remember, you don't have to touch your toes. You're gonna do 15 of them. So toes flexed if you want them, or as toes pointed, as straight or as bent as you want. And then just a small crunch. Keep your low back on the ground, just kind of driving up. As you can tell, I'm not touching my toes. I'm just kind of getting a little crunch and reaching. If you need to support your neck, get 10 to 15 small little crunches in. You gotta relax those legs down for a second, shake it out. And then you're gonna go dead bugs, okay? 5 on each side, dead bugs. Arms and legs up. Opposite arm and leg. Low back still staying down on that ground. 5 aside. Good, relax for a second, shake it out. Grab your band for band pull-aparts again. Okay, this time we're just going to go right into band pull-aparts. I want you to get your palms up this time. If you had your palms up last time, I want you to put your palms down. You're still going to get 10 to 15 reps, or you're doing your shoulder circles. After those, you have your lateral hip work. So if you have a band, you're doing the mini band walks, or you can do the standing, just good tall abductions with no leaning for 15 of those on each side. All right. If you're doing the band walks, keep tension on the band. Hips should be level, shoulders should be level, knees should be outside or level on top of toes. Feel the burn. You should be feeling the outside of those hips working. Good. Once you get your 15 aside, you're back down for the crunches and the dead bugs. 10 to 15 crunches. If the legs up ones are too hard for you, you can go straight leg for like 6 to 8 aside. Okay, or sorry, single leg. So one leg straight, one leg bent. If you need, or you're going reaches. 10 to 15. Once you get your 10 to 15, you got 5 aside dead bugs. And once you get your dead bugs, shake it out. Good job, team. If you got some light dumbbells, grab some light dumbbells. Or if you got bands, bands should work too. I'm going to show you a couple different options for how to hit our triceps. All right? So we're going to get 3 sets of triceps. You're going to take breaks when you need to. Let me show you a couple options. So one of them, if you have one of our band pull-apart bands, is you would hook the band behind your heel on one side, okay? And then you go arm up on the opposite side and just kind of extend across, okay? So it's around my left or my right heel right now, okay? And then my left arm is extending up, okay? So that's an option. You can also hook it around both heels on the back side. This one's kind of awkward just to get into. Hold it above your head. Oops. And then you can do both arms. Okay. Boom. Sorry, you can't see, sorry. Okay, but hooked around the heels, extending elbows up, hitting the triceps, so that's an option. If you have a couch or a little bench or something like that, you could do tricep dips. Okay, just remember this one, just be careful of your neck and your shoulders on this one. Okay, so only if everything feels good, you could do little tricep dips, all right? Or if you have like 5, depending on who you are, 5 to 20-pound dumbbells or kettlebells, what you can do is 90-90 tricep extensions. So legs up, arms up, bend at the elbows, keep those arms in place, and then just extend. All right? So we're hitting some triceps. So try that. You're going to get 3 sets of 15, and I'm going to give you about 3 minutes or so to make that happen. All right? If none of that works for you, if you have a band, get a bunch of band pull-aparts in. If you have no equipment at all right, get some of those prone, the swimmers, where you're flat on your stomach doing those double arm shoulder cars. Those are great shoulder exercises. Otherwise, 3 minutes to get some triceps in. If you can't do 15 reps with the resistance you have, just do whatever you can. 10, 12. If you need to go to 20, you can go to 20. You can mix it up through your 3 sets if you want to, or you can just take a short rest, 20 to 30 seconds, and then get right back into it. All right, we got a couple minutes, get your 3 sets in. Remember, you can go bands, you can go tricep dips, you can go 90-90 skull crushers, or if you have other equipment and you know what you can do, freestyle. Check it out, 30 seconds or so more, 30, 45 seconds to get that last set in. If you want to get in, if you're already done, if you want to get another set in, you can get another set in. 3 sets of 15 should be pretty good though. All right. After you get that 3rd set in, shake it out. Next up, we're going to do 3 sets of 15 bicep curls. All right. So on bicep curls, if you have dumbbells that work for you, grab some dumbbells. Grab dumbbells. If you know dumbbells, you can go 3 sets of 15 bicep curls. If you have one of the band pull-apart bands, you can go band around the feet. And you can stand tall and do more of like a hammer curl. You can play around with the angles too. You can hinge a little bit. So I'm just leading with my thumbs. The farther you grip down on the band, more resistance you're going to have. Okay, these little hinged forward ones are pretty good. So rock those if you want to. Or any sort of band, you should be able to wrap around your feet. One arm. Hammer curls here. With a band, once again, if you don't have a band. Shoulder cars are always a great idea. Reverse flies are a really good idea. You can do down dogs, okay, to get some more shoulder work. So really anything where we're getting kind of some shoulder or some arm work in, but if you can get a bicep curl, get a bicep curl. TRX could be a bicep curl option too. Three sets of 15. Take short rest between. A couple minutes to get it in. Good, wrap that 3rd set up, couple more exercises. Whew. Then we're done. So we're gonna go bird dogs and then Spider-Man rotations. All right? So, 5 aside, just good quality bird dogs, lock your abs in. back leg low, unlike I did on that first rep. Don't let your weight shift. Abs always engaged on the front side. And then 3 aside, good Spider-Man rotations. Just take your time, add a little extra to it if you want to. Just get those hips a little more stretched out. After you get your 3 aside Spider-Man, you're gonna sit in child's pose. Take 5 deep, slow breaths, and then we're done for the day. All right, so I'm going to take my 5 breaths and then get on out of here. Great job. Thank you so much for joining today. If you didn't lift yesterday, you can go ahead and get a lift in later today or right now if you want to get some more cardio in. Okay, check out the options in the unit in the files page. Check out that 30-day dash option with Derek if you're needing a little more guidance, a little more nutrition, accountability, all that stuff on the app. Keep rolling. Let me know if you got questions. Have a great day. Take your 5 breaths. Have a great day after your 5 breaths, everyone. See you later. Oh, also, if you haven't checked out yet, I'm going to be at the gym today, Thursday at 11 o'clock for about 15-20 minutes. If you guys want to come rent some equipment out, we don't have a lot of weights left, but we have a good amount of bands, some rollers, stuff like that. So 11 o'clock, okay, be there. I'll be there for about 15 minutes, socially distanced, of course. When you come in, let me know what you grab, and I'm just going to write it on the whiteboard. All right, see you later.